Hello and welcome to the first Morass Of Molasses rig rundown.
Hi everyone, I'm Bones from Morass Of Molasses and I'm going to give you a quick sort of run through of how I get my sound. So first thing I suppose you start with my guitar. It's a bit of a state, but I love her. She is, or was should I say, a Gibson Studio Gothic, and then I customised her by by taking out all of the volume and tone controls and the switch and the extra pickup, and then it hardwired straight to the output. And I know what you're thinking, what's this? That's where I split her in two once and glued her back together with epoxy resin. Yeah. You probably noticed as well, only 5 strings, and because I wasn't using that machine head, I just took that one out. No need for it anymore. And this probably really annoys some people as well, doesn't it? That really annoys some people. Oh. Yeah, and then we have really thick fucking strings on it. Actually baritone. This one here is a 72, so chunky strings.
Oh yes.
So now, pedal board.
Pedal board.
Okay.
What you got? What you got?
So I split my rig, so I go into a guitar amp and a bass amp. First thing I just come in here. This is just a tuner pedal. That's just like a nice big tuner pedal actually. There we go. And then come in noise suppressor, and then we come straight down here, and I've got an ABY pedal, which means I can go between my guitar amp and my bass amp, or both. And when I'm using it, this is a switcher for me to switch on between the distorted channel and the clean channel on my guitar amp.
Big and very big.
Yeah. And then here we've got the first POG, which is on the guitar side, which is currently unavailable. It's a bit fucked. And then this is a cool little pedal, an analog geyser, and it puts this like really short delay on the guitar side, so that it widens my sound, so there's a bit of separation between the guitar side and the bass side. And we go up here into this thing called a Voodoo Vibe pedal up here at the top, and this kind of adds a sort of a watery shimmer on the top of like some of my guitar sounds. And then this weird little thing here is an acoustic simulator pedal, believe it or not, and it kind of warms up the sound a little bit after the POG, because the POG can be a bit synthy.
Sorry, that Voodoo Vibe,
yeah.
What does it do? What is it?
It's half vibrato and half chorus, and so you kind of have a mix between the two, and it sounds a bit like a Leslie speaker. So it's,
I like those.
Yeah, it churns a little bit.
Yeah.
And this here is another noise suppressor, because my guitar's so old it's noisy. And then the bass side down here obviously comes out of here again, goes into a compressor just to compress it a little bit more. And then we've got a POG 2, another POG.
Big boy right there.
Yeah, and this puts in 2 octaves below the bass sound, an octave below, and up to 1 or 2 octaves above. And I basically sculpted a bass sound out of that. So that's the pedal board.
Cool.
And then the first thing we'll go to
bass amp then.
Bass amp, yeah. So this is an orange. You may notice there's a lot of orange going on. An orange Terra bass. So this is a hybrid amp. So it's got a valve on the preamp.
Is that 12 AX7s in the preamp? Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
And then it's got Class D on the power amp. So it's kind of a mix of both really, because to get a 500 watt full valve amp would probably weigh an absolute ton. But this is quite a nice mix. And actually an interesting story, I was going to get it all valve, so I was going to get this sort of sister amp to my guitar amp over here called an AD200, and I managed to test one out once, and it was like my dream bass amp, and to my horror it didn't sound good with my rig. It was a disturbing day, wasn't it?
It really was. It was
day.
very Lemmy, wasn't it? Which isn't very you.
No, it was great bass sound, it just didn't work with everything else that I did, and so I ended up going back to this, and I kind of like it, and you'll get to hear it in a sec.
What do they go through?
Oh yeah, it goes through two 15-inch bass cabs. Notice no mid cabs on the bass side, just big fat speakers. That's because I wanted to be getting a lot of sub from the sound on this side of it. I don't really want any mid to be coming from my sound, because all the mid that comes from my sound comes from this.
Ah, the big boy.
Yeah, which is a big old Thunderbird 200 guitar amp.
Did you say Thunderbird then?
No, Thunderbird.
All right, just me.
I mean, you can call it Thunderbird if you want, but it's definitely a Thunderverb. And so this is just a really loud valve amp. And
I take it 200 means 200 watts, yes?
Yep, 200 watts of valve, which are some big valves. I wonder what type of valves it is.
Oh, I believe they are 6550s, four of them, I believe.
You're just full of information.
I am. You'd have thought I'd have looked that up on Google or something, but no.
Yeah, beforehand.
No,
Anyway,
never. That's not my thing.
And then it's going into a standard 4x12 orange cab with vintage 30s in it, and there's a little story behind this cab actually. The guy that sold it to me told me that it once toured with Jerry Cantrell. Now that's probably bollocks. And I don't even know what that really means, if it toured with Jerry Cantrell. I mean, did he look at it? Did he brush past
Walked
it?
past it once.
I reckon,
yeah.
I like to think he glared at it. That's the kind of vibe I get off it. But yeah, so this is my guitar side. So these two things combined with my guitar and with all those pedals is designed to basically be the really low bass sound and the kind of the snarly low end of the guitar. And then the other guitarist in the band, a very handsome young man, him. His guitar is designed to stack on top of that, so I'm supposed to not getting in the way of him at all. And a lot of my EQ is that way. It's like I've got no treble at all on my guitar side.
That won't go down any further. Yeah.
Middle is at 12 o'clock, and the bass is as far as it will go up, and that is pretty much mimicked here. On my bass side, as you can see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we just see what they sound like.
Oh, wait. Let's fucking do it.
You ready? Cool. Right. Okay. Right. So this is the guitar part of my sound. Usually sounds a little bit different when the pog's on there, but it gets you the idea, a big grunty guitar sound, and then the bass sound. And then obviously both of them together. That's my tone.
Hey.
See you next month.